I am in the oyster capital of Australia, Port Lincoln, and the entire surrounding areas. I've got roughly 24 hours to explore and take some pretty photos. So come with me as I do a little explore of this beautiful peninsula. I think I'm gonna go one of 40 great South Australian short walks, hike up Stamford Hill for magnificent views of Boston Bay, Port Lincoln, and the entire national park. So now I just gotta work out how to get there. I'm trying to think of like anything I know about Port Lincoln, and it's basically nothing. Like there's a bit of tourism here, beautiful beaches, of course, and then oysters. And I don't really like oysters because they're like the snails of the sea, and we don't really eat snails on land, or I don't at least, and not many people do. So why would you eat the snail in the sea? I don't know if you can see that. That's where I'm going. The Stamford Hill Flinders Monument Walking Trail. Some vague history is that Flinders, when he was exploring the area, was very desperate around here to find water, so he was exploring around, and because he found water somewhere nearby here, it let him carry on further up the coast or down the coast and maybe find Adelaide in the end, as opposed to going back to Sydney and giving up. Yeah, there's the story. So, hot February day, 8 of your crew have been lost at sea, and just days earlier, and now your freshwater supplies are beginning to run low. So you head to the top of this hill, a big 20-minute walk, in the hopes of surveying the area and finding water. And this might be the Queenslander coming out of me, but I've already taken my shirt off, so it's just much cooler. Yeah, it's kind of insane how quickly you get up out of the bush here. That's stunning. I don't even want to think about how hard it would have been trying to bushwhack your way up here without any of this existing path. That's chaotic. Ah, it was life or death. Oh, wait. That sure is a obelisk with racial slurs carved into it. Oh, a homophobic slur. Nothing says Australia. The place from which the Gulf and its shores were first surveyed on the 26th of February 1802 by Matthew Flinders, commander of the HMS Investigator and discoverer of the country now called South Australia. Yes, as if no one had ever been here before. When did he find water? Approximately 14 kilometers west of this location near the present-day town of Tulka. A memorial marks the site. It took a week to recover 60 tonne of the precious fluid from the well they dug. Precious fluid is a bit of a strange way of putting that for water. 60 tonnes of water? My God. I've been faffing about here for about 5 minutes trying to get a nice shot here where I can put something good in the foreground here with these beautiful, I don't know, almost yellow leaves mixed in with that massive drop in the background, but I just can't quite frame it. We'll see how it goes. How sick. Sup, bruh? How you doing? Not bad. Got some company. Huh? Ambitious.
So the family that I was talking to here had just come across from their house to feed the pelicans, so they had attracted this really great crowd. And I was trying to shoot into the sun at the start to get their silhouettes, and I missed the composition in that first shot. There you go. Second one, it had that nice swoop that comes through it. A little bit, it's kind of there. But then I think I've found the shot in this last one, where they're all well lit. You've got that contrast with the background and that nice line that they go in. So good.
So the landscape around here is obscenely pretty, and it's in such this calm little cove where everything's peaceful and happy. I can't get over it. It's really nice. Oh, it's everything making noise. Go. No, it's not quite the sister of the Eyre Peninsula, but there's a bit of one-upsmanship here where they've got all of these amazing luxuries of the sea and some great-looking beach houses around here. But yeah, highly recommend Port Lincoln. It's a good spot. Spending today walking around the thriving metropolis of Cummings. Make sure you put the S on the end of that. It's located about 45 minutes north of Port Lincoln. Beautiful drive over here. It's just a sleepy little country town.
Saw this old water tank, and it ties into this little series I've got the last couple of times I've travelled through Australia. This was out on the Hay Plains, and again, pretty close to that. I think this is Yamba Station. And they tie together nicely, those pictures.
Moving on to Tumby Bay now. Found these dead trees everywhere. We've got some beautiful forms to them. Like the beautiful composition here is between those two trees. But I don't think there's going to be enough detail in this camera for you to see the way that these, the trees in the foreground here, they kind of mimic what the dude on the silo is doing. But I wish I had a bigger zoom or something that I could use to show that off, because it would be perfect. But that's the joy of film cameras and their limitations. How fun. I've always found a lot of beauty in these quite salty, dead landscapes.
What I really like about these places is a sense of scale that you always get when you're shooting in them, like these giant landscapes that are barren. You put a subject in the middle of them and it just has this great relationship between whatever you're shooting and the space that they're in. And then these landscapes also lend themselves quite well to macro photography or zooming in, especially when you've got film like this saltbush here. Just the tiny, crisp little details really come into focus. But you can also, once again, zoom out and you get these amazing landscapes, like here in the Flinders Ranges, where I think the foreground, it often, and the shadows on it, lead really well into the backgrounds. I'm sure you'll see it across the rest of the world, but it's very common here. Well, that's my first video back in Adelaide, and it sure is nice to get back into the swing of things. I was trying something new this episode where I did a bit of the scoring and some of the music in this is mine, so let me know if you thought it was a bit too much or it kind of suits, but we'll see. Thanks to everyone who's been liking and subscribing, and I look forward to making a few more of these in the future. Catch you next time.